Hi guys, welcome back to Doobrey's Day. Today on Doobrey's Day is a bit of a restoration video. I've got this old Vise here, which we found when we moved into our house, and we've been using it, but it doesn't work particularly well, as you can see. So we're gonna take it apart. There you go, look, I'm going left and it doesn't work. We're gonna take it apart and we are gonna try and restore it back to its original patina. We're going to give it a spray with some nice hammerite and we're going to make it work again. So this old Vise, I've had it now since I've moved into the house. We've been here for about 3 years. And as you can see, it was originally red. You can see that there. But as you can see, I'm moving it around and it doesn't work particularly well. If you pull this handle here, you can pull it out, and then it does seem to bite to go in, but it's a bit tired. So I'm going to unbolt it. We're going to start stripping it down, and we're going to see what's inside. We're then going to clean it all up, and we're going to try and make it working. Give it a bit of a spray, bit of a clean down, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is where we're up to. We've used a wire brush and we've cleaned most of this off. What we had to do with the teeth is we had to use our impact driver to remove it. That's quite difficult. What we're now going to use is this hammerite rust remover dip, and we're going to soak these overnight for 24 hours and hopefully remove all of the rust. Then we can start reassembling. The other part up here, we're still working on these. We've put lots of WD-40 in them. This is on the teeth of the Vise, and we'll keep working with our impact driver. So you hit the top and it twists the bottom, and we're slowly working our way to get those out. Once we've got those out, this will also be put into the rust remover. So rust remover into here, let them soak, and we'll give them a try tomorrow. Hi guys, okay, this is the second day of the Vise restoration. I've taken the Vise components out of the rust remover and I've given them a bit of a dry. Let me show you those. So as you can see, most of the parts now are rust free. The next thing that we have to do is I need to tape these up and start giving them a spray. Let's do that. The rest of these parts aren't going to be painted. There's still a tiny little bit of the red that originally was on there, so I'm going to leave that in there. I'm leaving this as normal colour. I think we're ready to spray, so I'm going to get some old cardboard and I'm going to set up a spray booth. I'm actually going to suspend it from here and then spray it while it's standing. It'll be easier. Let's do that. Okay, here we go. We have the main part of the Vise here. We have the slidey part, because that's a technical term, and then we have a little mechanism at the back there. So let's give them a spray. Let's give them a spray and see what they come out like. Good hammerite. So it'll be mask on, got to be careful, ventilated area, etc. So I'll open the door and let's do the spraying. Clearly I'm not the best painter in the world, but they're done and now they can dry. Lovely bright red. Morning. Okay, it's the next day. All of our Vise items have dried now. Let me just show you those. And we're going to take them down and we are going to put them together. Let's do that next. Okay, here we go. Here are the bits. We've just removed the tape, Mini Doobs and I. As you can see, it looks pretty good. We're happy with those. We're now going to put them back together again and then we'll see if they all work. Okay, Mini Doobs and I are going to put this back together again. I'll bring all the components over. We're going to keep the jaws at the moment because I need to order some, so we can put these on temporarily to give us some binding. I'm going to show Mini Doobs how it all goes together. We need the grease, which is down here. So first things first, Mini Doobs. I want you to paint the grease up the spring, please. If you can show the camera you doing that. Good bit of grease. Make sure that works well. All the way around. And towards the top here as well, please. Now then, what we need to do is look at how this all goes together. This was the tricky bit. So, if you can put some grease in there, please. This is the bottom corkscrew bit. So we're going to grease in here and we're going to grease this main bar as well, because this slides on here and allows it to move backwards and forwards. So a little bit in there, please, Mini Doobs. Now the way this goes together, this piece here has to be put in this side, and you need to see that this divot goes onto this side. So you've got to screw that side and divot this side. So this goes in, and then this goes down to the bottom. It's a little bit tricky to get in. Excuse my head for a second. There we go. So you can see that. And then we turn this back around. And we take this big piece here. We need to grease. On here next, please, Mini Doobs. I'll grab the grease. Then on this main piece, we need to grease on these metal pieces here as well. This is where things slide. Then we're going to put it together. So this bit goes into here. Like so. The big thread, if we turn this around, hold that please, Mini Doobs. The big thread then goes into here. Now, can you grease up a little bit of that, please? There we go. Okay, now we're covered in grease. So let's remove the grease, remove our hands, because then we can just tidy this last bit up. So this mechanism here locks in the vise to make sure it can move backwards and forwards. We've put the shaft in at the end. Yeah. Okay, the next bit is I want to put this bar in. Now this bar is spring loaded. Now I've got to remember quite how to do it. So goes this way. Oops, he said, dropping it. Now the spring, if you see, locks on here. Makes it springy. You'll spring it to there, that's what you got to do. I think. Is that right? I think that's there. Okay, so we have to make sure that it sits here like this. So when it lifts, it allows things to move. So what this actually does is this lifts up this part here. When you release it, it goes down. So we're just holding this spring here. We're just going to tighten this up slightly. Just hold it. Because what we also need to do is on the end here, we need to push this in. Because that needs to be against there. Which means that needs to be against the end here. Which means that can then push up. And then we need a couple of these screws here. What we're trying to do is get that in there and then lock that in. If I can get it into the hole. That's that one. I need to lock this one in. This one. Now we'll just do a slight adjustment on it. So, now then, when you pull this and pull it back, it comes out, it goes in, and then you should be able to wind it in and wind it out, because it wasn't doing that before. And then for quickness, you can just pull it and pull it. So I just need to tighten up that screw underneath slightly. Probably about right. Now we have a working vise. I'll just put the teeth in. So like I said, these are the original teeth. I'm going to get some new ones. I've got to find out which one fits which side. That one fits that side. And I'll get the grease pot, or just use the paintbrush that we got. Put a bit of grease on the back bits. And on this one, and I'll put some grease on these as well, just to... So that's the end of the restoration of the vise. I hope you found it useful. We're going to do a leg vise, which is down here. That's our next task, and we're going to mount that on a steel plate, etc. But thank you, Mini Doobs, for helping, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Doobrey's Day. Thanks, guys.